Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we have an Iron Fortress Stage 15 team that's going to work on all affinities, and I believe it's stages 6+, not 100% sure, mainly just doing stage 15. It's the main focus, but Helicath is the only block damage champion in this team. This is actually a team that was highly requested in my last video. So my last video, I used Rosh card. A lot of players don't have Rosh card. That team was very easy to make. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult because Helicath, his A3 ability, whenever a block damage buff placed on an ally by this champion is removed, stolen, or expires, places a 60% increased defense buff on that ally for 2 turns. So when you come over to the boss guide, somewhere in here, basically whenever a buff is placed, the Iron Twins turn meter gets boosted. So whenever you have that block damage fallen off, the Iron Twins are boosting their turn meter when that increased defense buff is placed. So the speed tune for Rosh card and Helicath is significantly different. With that said, I need to give a big shout out to Archer for my Discord. Without him and him using the ING calculator, this really wouldn't have worked. So what you guys can do, I'm gonna leave this link down below. If you ever want to come in here and try out some new teams, some new champions, whatever it may be, this is an amazing calculator for the Iron Twins, and it does calculate Helicath's weird buffs and his abilities. So that's working great now. We have 2 different speed tunes for this team. This one right here is the one that I'm going to be using, but if you guys want to try this one, there is lower speed requirements. You can see what opens where. So for the 2 slower Painkeepers, open with the A2 ability, and the fastest Painkeeper, or the first to go Painkeeper, is going to be opening just default, which is going to be opening with the A3 ability. You can see here the speed requirements on all the champions are a little bit lower, but today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys this team right here. You can also come in here, work on the clan boss stuff. So if you have a clan boss team, maybe you're working on Nightmare, Brutal, just come in here, click whatever difficulty it is, and then boom, plug in your stuff and you're good to go. You can literally see all the different things that are available on this website. So definitely, guys, check it out. I'm gonna leave it linked down below. But with that said, let's talk about the presets, talk about my speeds, and go over a few things. So first up, Helicath. I have him set to prioritize his A3 ability. Doesn't really matter. He's gonna prioritize it anyways, but for me, I like to make sure that he's actually doing what he's supposed to be doing. The AI in these games are a little bit, well, in these games, I mean Raid. In Raid, the AI is a little bit weird sometimes. I think we all know that. So I have it set to number 1. You do have to have this A2 ability on, have it being used, the shield, because those buffs do allow the boss to get his turn meter boosted and take an extra turn before you actually continue across your rest of your champion's turn. So make sure you leave it default or prioritizing this number 3. So Painkeeper right here, we have 2 and then 1. So always, this is gonna be the same setup for all the champions. It's gonna be number 1 with combat tactics and number 2 with spectacular sweep. So for me, it worked whenever I would have my fastest or my first to go Painkeeper using combat tactics as the opener, worked great. Whenever I tried to have a different Painkeeper using combat tactics, it wasn't working very well. The other 2 Painkeepers are gonna be the exact same setup, but instead of opening with the A3 ability, they're gonna be opening with that A2 ability. And then your Cold Heart, if you use Cold Heart, doesn't matter who you use. My Cold Heart is 221, so the speed isn't super tight for her. You guys can definitely throw in some different speeds. The calculator said 215, worked fine. I'm doing 216 on these Painkeepers, worked fine. Maybe you can do 218, should probably work fine. So just try it out, test out a few different things, go in the calculator, see what actually works, and the team is gonna run very smooth. So you can also throw on a Brimstone for your Helicath if you want, because the Iron Twins will be taking a turn. Helicath's gonna be doing the counterattacks, so he will also be getting some of the Brimstone procs happening. With that said, the hardest part about this team is the Helicath speeds. Obviously 280+, and it's gonna be difficult for some players, right? Now, if you bring a speed aura, that could improve your runtime. If you have a champion with a speed aura who does good damage, I can't think of anybody right off the top of my head, but obviously if you bring a 20% speed aura, you can lower the speeds of these champions and still work perfectly fine. So consider that. But as far as the masteries go on these champions, Helicath, he can have War Master. Your damage dealer can have War Master, but the 3 Painkeepers do not put War Master on them because they could proc the retaliation at a point where one of them is not protected, because there's a few spots in the match where one of those champions are not protected. Now, if the Painkeeper is low level, okay, you literally need nothing invested into these Painkeepers other than the gear and being fully booked. Being a low level Painkeeper, you're not going to proc the retaliation unless you have War Master on the champion. Now, if they're low level, they can't have War Master, but if you have a 6-star Painkeeper, you could have War Master, just don't do it, okay? Keep them very minimal, fully book them, you're gonna be good to go. So, go through the presets one more time. You guys wanna see it? Speeds, very close. There we go, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into the match, see how it goes. The time's pretty respectable. If you want it a little bit quicker, you could definitely throw Brimstone onto your Helicath. It's gonna go even faster. So guys, let's go ahead and jump into it, and I'll see you all at the end. All right, guys, so there we go. The run is finished. 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Not a bad time whatsoever, in my opinion. I mean, we need nothing on these Painkeepers other than gear for the speeds. The Cold Heart doesn't need accuracy, just good damage. Helicath, a little bit more gear demanding, but other than that, this team is pretty budget friendly. I mean, Helicath was a free champion if you did his fusion. I'm going to leave a link down below, both of these speed tunes, okay? So the speed tune for the faster version at 216 speed, and the speed tune for the little bit slower version, okay? This one I haven't tested, but I trust Archer. And yeah, he made this other team. I definitely think this one's gonna work very well also if you wanna try the lower speeds. Now, keep in mind, you could always bring a champion with a speed aura into this battle if you want to speed up your run just a little bit. However, I don't know of any speed champion who's gonna make your speeds lower and make the run still a pretty reasonable time. I feel like most of the champions with speed auras don't really do that much damage. All right, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and yeah, let me know if you're even farming the Iron Twins, because to be honest, the rewards, oh man, they're pretty bad. So we'll talk about that in another video, but I wanted to make these, give you guys some options as far as what to use for the Iron Fortress. But with that said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.